season over, it's like, man, you start to, like, I think you really start to think of, like, what you really just did. So it's not just that 16 games. It's like, all right, we had preseason games.
Yeah.
We had camp that we just went through. We had OTAs. You was training. Like, it's a whole, like, snowball effect of, you know, all that physical work that you just put in. And it's like, throughout the season, sometimes you don't realize how hurt you are or how tired you are. You just going. Like, when the season ends, like, I think, like, the next 2-3 days, I was, like, knocked out.
That's Alvin Kamara, Saints running back, when he was with us at the Super Bowl a few weeks back, talking about the prospect of an extra regular season game. We had a poll on Twitter a week and a half ago. 62% of the people who responded didn't want a 17th game. But you know what? It doesn't matter because the league wants it, the owners want it, and it's coming. The NFLPA has been negotiating with the league for nearly a year based on a 17-game schedule. And Chris, over the weekend, I made a few phone calls, talked to a few people, and for the first time, I got the impression they're going to get this done. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to accept a 10-year CBA with 17 games because it's a very basic, pragmatic approach. When push comes to shove in 2021, if there's a lockout, if there's a work stoppage, and as it approaches the moment where the players lose game checks and the ability to play in games, that's when they'll accept the best offer that's on the table. So just take the best offer that's on the table now because the NFL has a very high skill level at making sure that those that they are negotiating with know that the offer is not going to get any better than it is right now. So you can take it now or you can take it later. Go ahead and take it now, parlay it into new TV deals that may be better now than they would be a year and a half from now. And I think that's the direction it's moving in. Whether anyone wants it or not, whether the players want it or not, 17 games is coming. The question that remains after that is when would they expand the season to 17 games?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's where it gets iffy to me. I mean, you know, one, how do you work that out contract-wise here in the next year or two? You know, I read, you know, the article you put out there on Pro Football Talk and everything about that. That does get dicey. I mean, let's say a guy's making $16 million a year. We play one more game and he just gets $1 million more per year. How does that work? I don't know. That to me, I mean, you're affecting that, 401ks, guys' futures, all of those things. That's where, to me, they gotta make sure they compensate and do this the right way. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the players want to get behind it all the way. I don't. But to your point, you're exactly right. And that's what's frustrating because it's a bunch of billionaires who have billions in the bank. And it's a bunch of young kids who, for the most part, are just starting to make money and haven't accumulated, you know, life wealth yet. So they are desperate, and they were put here on earth a lot of times to play football, and this is their chance to capitalize. So, yes, when it comes down to it, and then there's no guaranteed contracts to go along with it, yeah, the owners have all the power here, and that's where it's screwed up. And I don't think the players want to bend or do the 17-game season, but you're right, at the end of the day, when it comes deadline time, the players will probably buckle.
The choice isn't 17 or 16 for the players. The choice is 17 or 0.
Yeah, right. That's the choice for everyone. And it's who's going to stop watching the NFL because there's an extra weekend of action. They know that we're still going to watch, and they know the players are going to agree to it. And the issue with when, the NFL wants to start it in 2021, but you have contracts. What do you do about these contracts with players who have committed multiple years into the future? That's why there are players who want to move it to 2022 or 2023. There are only 70 players right now who are under contract in 2023, and they could take care of those guys, get them a premium. Right.
But the goal is to nudge it back. And I don't know that 2022 is the compromise point. Maybe it is, but that's one of the lingering issues here. Some of the players wanting to delay it beyond 2021.
I would get it. I get that. I mean, you got guaranteed money and things like that tied up into a deal that's not a part of this same structure. That's not fair to the player. Hey, one more game at the end of the season when you're exhausted and beat up. I mean, there's more worth than just one game check there, so this will be interesting.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.